You're gonna be like 2 minutes in, and then you're not gonna be nervous anymore.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I promise. I
I just gotta
promise.
say something like... Are you recording right now?
Yeah. Yeah. It started. It started. Yeah. That's your water, by the way. Huh?
Is it? Oh, bless.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, he went upstairs, so now I feel weird now because it's his place. I don't take these off because
So he can stay down here, bro. I don't mind.
No,
Where's the front of the
it's
mic?
fine.
Yeah, I gotta hold it
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, yeah.
I think I just have to say something super cancelable right out of the way, so that I don't have to worry about it.
Have you seen his episode?
No.
No.
What movie was it?
It was a Benchwarmers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched the first 5 minutes of it.
No, because he got comfortable in it and then started saying wild things.
Yeah,
But
I
you'll
think I
see,
just
you'll
have to
see.
get it. I think I have to say something like super cancelable right out of the way.
No,
so
you
that
can't.
I,
No.
Because listen, hear me out. Because then I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the episode. You know. You can
No,
cut it
you'll
out.
think about it.
You
You'll
can cut it out.
No, I can't. I can't bleep. I can't bleep it out. I don't know how to bleep. I don't know
Everything's
how to
good?
bleep. Yeah,
Everything's
everything's good.
I went to the dentist for this today. You know.
Yeah.
I got a teeth
Did you find
cleaning.
out? Did you find out about the? What was the issue?
I have
with,
to get the teeth out, but it could be. But I
It-
gotta.
Was
I
it
gotta-
because of that?
that? I don't know. They're like the only way to find out is to remove your wisdom teeth and then
What?
see if the headaches go away.
No, that's a scam. They just
Yeah.
want you to pay.
Yeah.
Which one do you go?
Vimy Bridge.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay,
sick, bro.
okay.
There's marble. It felt like it was in Dubai going into that dentist. But
Do you know the one in Marketplace?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one I go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, broke boy dentist. Anyway,
Yeah.
They look good.
Yeah, they look fine. They look
Yeah.
fine. What they do? What they do?
Cleaning.
They just clean it?
Yeah, I told
Yeah.
them I have a podcast and I need my teeth to be
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah. Welcome, man.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm honored.
Yeah. I know I keep saying this after like every episode, or at the start of every episode, but I actually don't know who I'm gonna have next. You know,
Yeah.
like it's always a mystery. Even the past episode, I was telling myself like I know eventually I'm gonna have you on,
Yeah.
but I didn't know like am I actually gonna do it like next week? You know?
Yeah.
But
I mean, the
now I'm
people
gonna
watching
have
this might not know this, but
Yeah.
you've wanted me on here for so long.
Yeah.
But the way
yeah.
you got me on here was super last minute. You're like,
Yeah.
yo, to this other guy canceled. Can you be my plan B? And I was like, I guess.
Oh, I said that. Oh, when did I say that? I said that for I think the last episode. He like I remember he told me he couldn't make it, and then I tried getting you on,
Yeah.
and then eventually both of you couldn't make it, and then I filmed the one with Alex, and then now it's you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. The reason I'm excited about this one is because, like the way I don't rewatch movies. I don't rewatch movies.
Well,
To me-
how many times have you seen Whiplash?
No, yeah. But hear me out. Let me
Okay,
land.
okay.
I don't rewatch movies, but the movies that I do rewatch, right? I only rewatch it because of how it looks. You know.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like okay, Whiplash is just because that's my favorite, but but it looks nice,
Mhm.
Blade Runner looks nice. Tron, I saw it recently this week, and or I'm gonna watch it, and that was good, you know.
Yeah.
I know I'm watching it. When am I watching? Friday, because Wednesday I'm watching Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm.
I'm excited. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah?
No, I didn't really feel like watching 40 other movies before I went and saw this.
No,
one.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy though. Like you can watch those 3 movies and
But I also have to watch
be calm, you know.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. Okay. To let the people know, you don't watch movies. You don't watch movies.
I have been recently though. I'll be
Yeah?
honest. You've inspired me a lot.
Yeah.
Because hear me out. I do really love movies.
Yeah.
But my attention span, it's shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's shit. Like, I don't know. I have trouble getting through movies. I still do.
Yeah. But don't you think like TV shows nowadays are like
Garbage.
almost movies though? No, they're like
It depends, bro.
I feel like the quality of TV shows is becoming way better than movies. You know?
But don't say better than movies. Not better.
Lately, yeah.
As well
yeah.
produced.
There's more great shows than great movies. I would say even last year. Last year, in 2022, there were more great, beautifully shot shows than movies.
Take Netflix out of the equation, and see if you say the same thing.
What do you?
Like most of the great produced shows are by Netflix, and that's because shows are more
streaming services. No?
Shows are more profitable than movies. Probably in their case because people will buy, say, subscribe for the next season or whatever, you know.
But and like I said, you don't watch a lot of movies, right?
Yeah.
But this one, what was the first time you saw this one?
Okay. Do you want the full backstory?
Yeah.
So, wait, I didn't even say what my favorite movie is yet. Am I supposed to?
Well, it's in the title. I mean, it's Blade Runner. It's in the thumbnail.
Hi, I'm Saul's best friend, Carmelo, and my favorite movie is Blade Runner 2049 with Ryan Gosling. And that'll be great for shorts.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But where did you first see it?
Okay, so my, I guess, appreciation for this movie started actually way before I saw the movie. Believe it or not. Because as you know, as I've mentioned a million times to you, I never used to watch movies.
Yeah.
Like I just if I'm bored, I'd play video games or you know, do something else. So the people probably don't know this, but I'm a photographer, and I've always had an appreciation for, you know, cities and that kind of thing. So all my photos have been of cities or in the city. And my first photo series was actually inspired by Blade Runner, because I had seen the cinematography so many times. And it was a cyberpunk series. It was a collection of shots made to look
like that time,
like a steampunk cyberpunk kind of thing. So
what was the subject then in the picture?
It was it was a series, right? So it was different every time. It was portraits. It was.
But how'd you make it look like cyberpunk?
Just inspired by, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Colors and
like just bright ones.
Yeah. Well, you shot at night and you have you know, different colored hues and tints and I had shot one portrait in front of these buildings, and it was just before winter at the time, and the sewers were steamy, so it gave it that futuristic steampunk kind of vibe, you know.
Yeah.
And I even had a poster for the movie in my room before I had even seen it. Before I had even seen it.
Okay.
And so that's where it kind of started for me, was the cinematography side of things.
Yeah.
But I'd never just taken the time to watch it. And you know, I had seen the shots from the movie a million times, whether it was on Instagram or on Pinterest for shot inspiration.
So did you see it? Did you see it recently?
First time I watched the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was January this year.
And who was it because of? Come on.
It was because of our other coworker.
No. Stop that shit. No.
It was because of you. It was.
Isn't that incredible? I recommended you your favorite movie, man.
Yeah, it was good. Well, listen. It didn't go
I know. Yeah, you knew about it.
I had told you that I'd really like this movie, and a lot of my art was inspired by this movie.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that set you off was that I had a poster of it in my room. I had told you that. I showed you a picture of it too, and you're like, "Oh, you've seen it?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah.
And you just imploded at that point, I think.
No, you do this a lot. You mention a movie, or you mention a trailer or something like that, and then I ask you if you've seen the movie, if you actually seen the original stuff, you know, and you say no, and I'm always forgetting that you haven't seen these movies, but you know about them, and that pisses me off sometimes. I'm like, bro, just watch it.
Listen, I think I'm weird with movies, but I think you're just as weird with movies.
I think so,
you're
but
obsessed more than most people because
I made the podcast about that. Yeah. I'm watching a movie every day. Yeah, come on. I know I am.
I think you've definitely changed my opinion. I was talking to the music video director I was working for before I came here. I was talking to him about it today. I was talking about how I'm more inspired to watch movies and eventually start to maybe make movies as well.
Yeah.
You kind of opened my eyes a bit, you know, to get past the whole to sit and watch a whole movie was a big struggle. And
isn't that low-key sad? No, if you
it's
deep
fucked,
it,
bro. Yeah, no.
Yeah. We're
year,
actually ruined.
I'd be watching a movie.
Yeah.
TikTok here, laptop here.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And I'll admit it too. Like I honestly like never really pick up my phone when I'm watching a movie, but the temptation is there because I've seen a bad movie and like I'm like 30 minutes in and I'm like, okay, it won't matter if I just look up on my phone, you know?
So I do this thing now where I know if I'm going to watch a good movie. I did it I watched Creed the other night.
Yeah.
And I'm watching through the Rocky movies again. When I sit in my room, I throw my phone.
Yeah.
And I don't look at where it lands.
Bro, doesn't it? It
no,
sounds like an addict. It sounds like
no,
we're
because,
actually,
bro, like you know the feeling,
ruined.
right? You're sitting there.
Yeah.
You're sitting there. Someone Snapchats you.
Yeah.
You know, you see the light. You're like, whatever. And then it's just like,
yeah,
it's there. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's like you want to know what it is.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Especially like you hear those
and
things.
And like, bro, like my phone is so many people want to talk to me, so it's just.
So you saw it early January, man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It was when I bought my laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
so I had planned to watch it before.
Mm-hmm.
I had planned to, but the timing was never right. You know, it wasn't on any stream. Like I wasn't paying for a movie. You know, it wasn't on Prime. You had to buy it if you wanted to watch it.
I did. I paid for it. Yeah.
I respect that. Or like there's streaming sites, but I know for a movie that looks that good.
Yeah.
You know, I want to watch it in optimal setting. I don't want no buffering. I don't want no ads.
And you allegedly torrented, right?
No.
But it was like allegedly. I had heard from someone.
Yeah, some people believe that I torrented it.
Yeah. But it's all allegations, you know. Like, yeah.
So someone allegedly torrented a 4K Dolby Atmos 10-bit version of the movie.
And they thought it was you?
Huh?
They thought it was you?
They thought it was me.
Yeah.
And it was allegedly a 16 gigabyte file, super massive file. And allegedly it looked
16?
great. Yeah, it was massive, bro. Massive.
How long does that take? Like
it took
what
a
do
long
you think?
time. I downloaded it overnight. Allegedly.
No.
allegedly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's nuts.
But it looked nice. You showed me a clip on YouTube, and I even played it on my computer too, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like I wish I could see the whole movie like that, you know?
Yeah, it was definitely an experience. So, I mean, seeing the scenes on Instagram is one thing.
Yeah.
And like I have and I have had for a long time like mood boards, and a lot of the mood boards take scenes from the movie. You know? So that's where the original, I guess, inspiration for it started.
Yeah.
And then also like, you know, all these like Sigma male edits.
Yeah.
You know, they romanticize it a lot.
You know what? I'm gonna bring that up later. I have questions about that.
Okay.
But yeah, speaking of like the quality too, it came out 2018, I believe, or 2017, right? Yeah. And I think at that time I was still like very smooth brain in my Marvel era, you know. I was like, it was peak Marvel, so I was like into it, right? But I remember I had heard about the movie, and it went over my head. Like it was like I thought about it for like 2 seconds, and then it kept moving. So you know, I didn't even think about it.
It actually, I think it underperformed.
It did.
Office.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, there's a big community for it now. Like people realizing, hey, this is a good movie, we should watch this.
Yeah. Well, this is one of my hot takes, and it's like the length of the movie, you know, and the pacing too. That a lot of people, even the director and Ridley Scott, who like directed the first movie and was a producer on this one, they said like, I think a lot of problems like the pacing.
I agree.
They
agree.
They even said it. They were like I understand the movie could have been 30 minutes, like 30 minutes less. It was 30 minutes too long. That's what they said, right? And they were like, we made a very expensive, like artsy movie, you know.
And that's fine. I mean, I think that's a lot of the like. There's a place for it, but also
there is, yeah.
Like, so I can look at it from two ways. I can see where people are like, okay, this definitely didn't need to be this long. Yeah. And I agree, it didn't. But also, the world building was so good that I'm okay with it.
Look, here's the thing, though. When it comes out in theaters, like it needs to make money in like that opening weekend, that first week, right?
Mm-hmm.
It needs to make money, right? In that time. And when you bring out a reboot, like however long it was after the original, right? And honestly, I think a lot of people who enjoy this movie right now, especially the young people, saw this movie first before, just like me. They saw this movie first, and they're either gonna watch the original or they've watched the original after. You know, a lot of people who enjoy probably the original are kind of like probably a small fan base. You know, of like older people. You know, and the way that's how I see it too. You know, like think of a classic movie right now that we grew up with, right? Or even a TV show like Wizards of Waverly Place, for example, right?
Yeah.
If they made a reboot of that, I'm gonna be sketched out. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna tune in, right?
Yeah.
So even that small fan base that they had in the '80s, a lot of them won't come back because they're afraid of what they'll do wrong, you know. So I think it had a lot of problems, marketing wise, right? And just also like, I don't think people really appreciated it back then, you know, for like what it was and what it was saying.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair enough.
People wanted a blockbuster because if you see that budget, bro, and you're like this cast, you know, you're like you expect something, you know, but it really wasn't it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I don't really see why it didn't do well.
Yeah.
Like that seems like it's, I guess it's a big thing, but it also doesn't seem like a big thing. You know?
But speaking of a Marvel, right? It was peak time like that, you know, of those blockbusters doing numbers. You know, this is like a year before Black Panther. You know, like you know what I'm saying? Like when you have those movies like doing bits at the box office, and you want to give out a new idea about like a futuristic world, you know, a lot of people won't really tune in because they're into that phase, you know.
Yeah. I guess it came out at a weird time.
Yeah, I agree. You know, my biggest regret though, this is one of the movies that I wish I saw in theaters. There are 3 movies in my life that I wish I saw in theaters, and that's Whiplash, Dark Knight, and this movie. You know, those 3 movies, I really wish. Dark Knight is a bit kind of like I was too young. You know, like I probably wouldn't have
appreciated it.
I probably didn't understand like the lore of Batman, you know?
Yeah.
And I didn't understand cinema like that at that age, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at right now too. I'm starting to understand it more.
Yeah.
It's weird because I kind of I think you and I have approached cinema in a different way, on the opposite side of things. Like
no.
You're more interested in the storytelling aspect side of things, and I'm more interested in like.
Well, I thought you meant the path to like enjoying cinema.
Well, I mean, even that too.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you're more interested. Like, I think based on our discussions, you're more interested in the story side of things.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not,
mm-hmm.
but I kind of fell in love with it because of the way it looks.
Okay. Yeah. No. Fair. No. It is true. But when like I said, I only rewatch movies when they look good, right? So the way you can tell about me, huh?
That's not necessarily true. I know you've mentioned older movies that don't necessarily hold up anymore.
Like what?
The Godfather?
Shut up.
Do you think The Godfather holds up? In terms of how it looks? Come on, bro.
Okay. Yeah. No, I won't say anything bad about The Godfather, man. That's a good movie, bro. That's a good movie.
But do you think? Okay, this is not bad, bro. But do you think how it looks holds up? Obviously not. It's decades old, bro.
I guess. But I think for its time and for like a good
for its time
30
for sure.
Maybe not 30. What I'm saying, but for a good like 20 years, like it was peak. It was, you know, it inspired everything, man. It inspired everything.
I've never seen it.
But what was I saying? The way it looked, right? I was also gonna say that this is one movie I wish I saw in IMAX. You know, I don't know how did you listen to the movie? Did you have like headphones on, or did you just play it out? Just like
The first time I watched it on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
My laptop has a really, really good speaker set.
It does,
Yeah.
but
The second time,
like
second time I watched it, I have a home theater in my basement.
Yeah.
With surround sound.
Yeah.
So that's where I watched it the second time, and it did sound great. It did sound great.
I'm telling you, bro. Like, bro, in the beginning, apparently, what's his name? Hans Zimmer collaborated with someone else on.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
That's
I didn't
crazy,
know.
bro. I knew that
because it didn't have a lot of significant like Hans Zimmer stuff, right? And then I realized later, you know, it's like when you say
you
I won't bring
up the scene.
Yeah.
But there's one scene where you like, that's where I first realized like the score right away in that one scene. Actually, can I just mention it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The scene where they're towards the end of the movie where there's like that car chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear the.
Well, it's every time the car passed. It's every time the car passed to me.
Yeah.
It's like when I found out that it was him. Every time like the car passed, the second time I saw the movie, I was watching it and I was like, I've heard that sound in like The Dark Knight Rises, you know. I've heard that kind of like the
similar.
like,
and
something
like similar in Interstellar as well. That's where I recognized it from.
Oh man, I've seen Interstellar twice, and there's moments like I forget. Like I don't remember that movie really well.
It was. I'll be honest. Okay, I don't know if it's a bad thing to say while I'm recording the podcast, but it was really hard for me when you asked me if I wanted to be on it. Yeah. It was very hard for me to decide if I wanted to talk about Interstellar, Blade Runner, or Whiplash. Yeah. Because those are three movies that have stood out to me, but I decided on Blade Runner purely because of the significance it has had on, like, my passion, which is photography, and now slowly dabbling into film. Yeah. It all started with Blade Runner.
And that's and you're in that Ryan Gosling like enjoying movies period too, huh? Yeah. Have you checked how many movies you checked off that list? Like just not a lot though. I know you're into you probably get those reels or TikTok.
You know what it is, okay? Yeah. This is gonna be really bad. This is gonna sound really bad, but like, I feel like I've seen them all. Do you know what I mean? Because like I'll watch a reel, you know, and it's like. For example, I'll get a reel, and it's like the most significant scenes of Drive, you know, layered into like a 30-second video, and I'm like, well, I know what happens now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why that's why I don't even watch trailers, and
man.
I'm okay with it, bro. I don't care about spoilers. You're weird about spoilers.
I guess I'm weird, but you know, like the Batman when that shit was being promoted everywhere. You know, I would turn my laptop. I would put away my phone. I did everything.
Did the trailer have a lot of spoilers in it?
No, but like the car chase scene, right?
I haven't seen it. I did see that in the trailer though. I've seen the trailer.
You saw that in the trailer?
Yeah.
Guess what? I never saw that. My first time seeing that in the theater.
Wow.
In a theater.
With the fire, yeah?
With the fire.
Yeah.
With the fire. And honestly, it made my whole viewing experience better. I know there's some movies I could watch a trailer and be like, okay, like it's not bad, and like you know, like I'm not gonna be too mad about it. But when it's like when I see a movie that's directed by someone I know makes good movies or has a good cinematographer like Roger Deakins with this one, you know, I am not gonna peep because. Bro, I know when I see that shit in IMAX, it's gonna be incredible. You know what I mean?
I agree, bro. It's half the experience, but it's just like I need to get like tapped in to go see a movie. For example, movie coming out, Oppenheimer. Yeah. Oh. Like you could tell me Christopher Nolan's doing this movie about Oppenheimer, and I wouldn't care until I saw the trailer, and it looks great. Yeah. You know, I'm like, holy fuck, that looks like a good movie. I'm gonna go see it. You know,
the only thing I've seen about that are like pictures of the cast. Like I've seen Robert Downey Jr. in black and white. I've seen the main guy, right?
Josh Peck's in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's in the trailer. I was like, wow, this looks like a serious fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then the camera pans by and it's just Josh Peck, and I was like, what the fuck?
But the only thing I saw from that, I think it was when I was watching Nope. Right? And they played like a little teaser, but it was like fire. It was just like a bunch of fire. Yeah. And then they played like they put words, but it was just a massive fire. And I was watching Nope in that IMAX theater, and they played that right before the movie started.
So what's your move when a movie you want to see comes on in the theater? Do you like
in the theater?
Yeah. Do you hit?
Do
you like this?
No, during the Batman. No. During the Batman promo, I would. I would just go downstairs. I would leave. I wouldn't be.
Crazy.
I wouldn't be there during the
That's
trailers.
crazy.
I wouldn't be there during the trailers
You
because
know,
I was afraid. I was
you know-
afraid the Batman. Bro, do you imagine? I'm seeing a trailer and then of the Batman, and then it cuts to just like a popcorn ad or a Scotiabank ad. Like no, like
You know
you
those
just
kids
ruined the
that are-
vibe.
you
I
know-
just if I'm gonna watch something, I'm gonna be immersed. You know.
You know those kids that are scared of fire alarms and they like
Shut the fuck.
they like plug their ears and they go like la 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 la, close their eyes and shit.
I'm not that, bro. I'm not that. I'm not
I
that.
can see it though. I feel like anyone else you talk to about movies would also be able to see that.
No, come on. I know it sounds I know I look insane. I look insane when I'm about this. But when
No, because
Yeah.
Saul and I work together and we like
Yeah.
often talk about movies at work and I'm like, yo, watch this trailer. And you fully got up and be like, no, put that away. I'm not watching.
yeah.
Like you are weird, bro.
Isn't that a good thing though? Because if you're recommending me something good, right? And I don't want to see the trailer, I know for a fact like I'm gonna, you know.
No, it sounds to me like you don't want to watch it. You know, I'm like, oh, maybe Saul doesn't like my recommendation.
You know what? I've seen so many movies that it's like, if I see the cast or the director or anybody that's involved that I know makes good shit, right? I'm gonna tune in.
See,
I
but
know I'm gonna tune in.
I've seen banger movies,
Yeah,
and I haven't recognized a single actor in it.
you'll start to.
No, but what I'm saying, okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
like even right now, like you'll eventually get into the period where you're like, how you feel about Christopher Nolan right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, bro, the guy put out Tenet, right?
I
During
haven't seen
COVID.
that yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
But when it came out like during COVID, right? I was like, my first thought wasn't like, oh, let me go see a movie because I haven't seen one in a while in theaters, right?
Yeah.
My first thought was I'm gonna go see a Christopher Nolan movie. I'm not gonna, what?
Well, that's how I'm
Like,
for Oppenheimer
yeah,
right now.
yeah. Yeah.
Purely because of his name. He's
Yeah.
got clout.
He does.
Yeah.
Even with all that cast, right?
But he's gonna.
It's still about it.
I hope he doesn't miss.
Yeah. Tenet was like I heard someone compare Tenet to a heap shot. Apparently in basketball, like that's a term, like a heap shot. Apparently it's like, for example, if Steph Curry like scores a bunch, right? He eventually will try something different to see if he still got it. You know?
Yeah.
So he'll try something different and then like shoot with the left end or some bullshit like that, right?
And he
So
missed?
apparently that was, huh?
Did he miss?
No, it was, Tenet had its problem, but it's one of those movies that it's just like it's a vibe, you know.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I could watch it without understanding what's going on and still be like, yeah, the movie still looks nice and that suspense is still there because I know he's afraid of doing this and the soundtrack is building up to something, you know. So the suspense is still there, but I don't really know what they're going, you know. I don't know what they're going for, you know. Quick fact, since we're talking a lot about cinematography, Roger Deakins, right? Who's like filmography you should watch?
Yeah,
in
you've been
entirety, man?
you've been
He's the
recommending
guy.
this guy.
He's the guy.
I believe
the guy.
it.
Yeah.
I believe it because all the trailers I've watched that you told me to watch that were directed cinematograph.
Yeah, cinematography. yeah.
Yeah, cinematography by him.
Yeah.
They've all looked.
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Sicario is incredible. But he was nominated 13 times, right? And then never won for like an Oscar, right? 13 times. And when you see the movies that he didn't win for, you're going to be like, what the fuck?
So, do you know
like,
what won it in 2017?
Huh?
What won it in 2017? Because I want to know what beat Blade Runner. I'm just curious.
No.
Don't
Blade
say
Runner
my-
was his first.
He won?
First. Yeah, that was
Wow.
his first Oscar.
You didn't.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I thought you were done with the fact.
No.
Wow.
He got nominated 13 times. The Blade Runner was his very first, you know? And
Well
then he got
deserved.
another one for, I think, 1917.
Yeah.
And that movie is really good. It's his own like little genre. So, like to me, I watch it without trying to compare with other movies. Right? I'm just trying to watch it as its own. And yeah, that movie's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But-
he's the go, man. He's the go.
By the way, before we
Yeah.
keep going, did you check if the audio's
Well, I did an audio test
okay?
while you were like in the bathroom.
Okay.
Oh, dude, do you know how incredibly mad I would be if this doesn't work?
That'd be crazy.
Because I can't monitor
the
it.
conversation's
Yeah.
been good so far.
It has been good. It has been good.
Wait, why can't you monitor it?
like I looked it up on Google how to like monitor with the headphones, right? And I did it with Tristan's episode.
It doesn't show you on the OBS?
It does. It does.
Sorry, I'm wasting time on your podcast.
No. I'll most likely cut it if it's too much. But yeah, look, like
there should be a way to monitor on OBS. I'll figure it out after. Anyway.
Probably will. Anyways, big question.
Yeah.
Why is it your favorite movie? Why is it your favorite movie?
You
talked about it a bit. You talked about it. Yeah.
Honestly, okay. I don't want to go off on a. Do you want me to?
No.
Because there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
So firstly, obviously, the impact it's had on me, like art wise.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first real inspiration to, like, really dabble in photography and art and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always had an appreciation for, like, I feel like I've been a city boy my whole life. Before, like, city boy, like a guy who really appreciates, like, living in a city.
Okay, yeah.
So that's kind of where this whole, like, thing has shebanged,
Mm-hmm.
It's just come out of nowhere. So yeah, a lot of my, like I said, my early inspiration for photography was.
But wait, what's the correlation with the city? Like just the way it looks, like.
Just the way it looks, the busy lifestyle, the
buildings, all
the
that,
buildings, the night, like the nightlife, how things look at night, lights and. Yeah, I really like specifically in photography is like finding patches of light at night. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it sounds super weird, but
no, I know what you mean though, because I've seen your style. I've seen your style of.
It's always been like that for a super long time. So that's kind of where it started. Like when I was in grade 12, I literally based my first. I could find it somewhere, but my proposal for my first series that I had at a gallery, a lot of the shot lists were based off Blade Runner. A lot of them.
Okay.
It was like Blade Runner and Cyberpunk, So it was based off of that. And then since then, seeing the scenes on YouTube and stuff, and I never really got around to watching it. But now I feel like I watched it at a point in my life where I really relate to the main character. And that sounds mad corny.
Yeah, you sound like one of those TikTok guys, yeah.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, so like
why what do you relate?
So you asked me the other day if you were like, you have a girlfriend, are you lonely?
Yeah.
And I was like no, but if you watch the movie you can kind of see that the main character, Kay, not as, like, maybe in his case is lonely, but it's almost like there's something missing. Like searching for his purpose.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I feel like that at my point in my life right now, where like, I'm kind of wrapping up uni. I have to see where I really want to fucking quit my job. Like I tell you every day, I really want to fucking quit my job.
Oh, if they see this,
I don't care. I don't care. If for some reason they click on Saul's podcast, I really want to quit my job.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's like, I can really relate to that. It's like, where am I headed? Like what is my, not what is my purpose, but what am I meant to be doing?
No, what is your purpose? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's always going to be a big question in your life. I don't think you can really know what it is.
Yeah.
Like to me, I'm telling myself, maybe writing is my purpose.
Yeah.
But I won't know that until like I'm deep into it. You know what I mean? I feel like you'll always have that question,
Yeah.
It'll come up when you have kids and all that.
When I see those those clips and those snippets of like that's how I relate to him. I never really explained that to you, I guess, but it's like just that feeling of, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Like I guess I'm not knowing.
Lost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm lost. I think I'm in a good place, but
no. But you still can be.
The future is like, it's unknown.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know. Like I'm at kind of a crossroads, I guess, in my life right now. So that
so are a lot of people. Don't
Yeah.
don't discourage yourself.
Yeah. So I guess that there's something missing, you know, and that's where I was like, okay, that's why I related to him, you know?
Okay. No, that's funny. That's funny because I was gonna say, like we almost spoke about it today at work. Just a bit of context. Like we had a whole shift together. Like how long was the shift for?
Today or last time we debated
No,
this?
today. Like 5 hours.
6 hours. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and I was trying to say because I was prepping like the topics as we were working, and I was telling myself like, oh dude, I have to talk about this right now, you know?
Yeah.
But I was gonna tell you that like to me, the way I saw Kay, like the main character, Ryan Gosling, right? Yeah. To me, I saw him like having like childlike manners, you know? You said it when you pulled up that quote or something, right? And to me, I was like, yeah, that sounds a bit dumb, right? But then I thought about it. That.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it, and I'm like, what if I saw these replicants as kids? Because I clearly saw one being born, you know, delivered, packaged, right? Remember the chick that fell, with Wallace? That's how I saw it. So to me, I was telling myself, what if these guys were kids? And then I thought about it, and to me, Kay has like, it's kind of like playing grown ups with Joy.
Yeah. Should have marinated it longer. I hope he's isn't dry. Did you know this song was released in 1966 on Reprise Records? It was #1 on the charts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what we had talked about before. I really want to do a deep dive into Joy's character.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that.
Yeah, but Kay first.
Okay, Kay first.
To me, I see him as like almost playing like grown up, you know? Like he's a guy programmed to do a detecting job, right?
Yeah.
He's programmed to do that, right? But or at least he thinks he's programmed to do that, right? It's a whole thing.
In the end, it turns out he was.
Well, here's the thing.
But he finds it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's so because I don't want to talk about that yet. Yeah. You know, like because that's like kind of I think that's like the end part of it. You know?
No. Yeah, it kind of is, but it all leads to it. But to start off, to me, I see Kay as a guy doing what he thinks he should do, right? Because, and quick side note, the baseline test, right? I see it as like a placebo at best, you know? Because to me, I don't think it means anything. So they start doing something, they start talking about shit, right? And because they're like, oh, you have to do the baseline test to do this, to know if you're not good, right? But I don't think first I don't think a lot of these replicants know what's the use of the baseline test. And two, I think it's when they start getting like they start thinking like, what if there's more to this, right? That's when they fuck up the baseline test. So I see it as like a placebo in a way that like it doesn't mean anything, but eventually once you mess it up, because they're kids, like
it's weird. I don't think a lot of people see it like that. It's weird that you think that way though. Not weird, like, but that's interesting because.
But here's okay. What I'm trying to say, because I'm saying multiple things at once right now, right? I'm saying, let's view the replicants as kids, right? They're almost like in their, like they're not even like 10 years old yet, in my opinion, right? Yeah. Because they're new models. So the way I see it is like, if the baseline test is like being grounded, for example, right?
Yeah.
Let's see that, okay? Yeah. If the baseline test is like being grounded, and then you turn a certain age, like 17, 18, right? And you're like, this doesn't mean shit, you know? Like, this doesn't really mean anything. Like, I know what's real consequences, right? So, to me, I was like seeing, like, I thought about it because I also saw the original, and I'm like, what if the baseline test is just to like, oh, that's a system?
Intimidate them?
No. It's more so like, oh, we're just keeping in track, you know? You're always you're reacting this way, good, right? But when you don't react that way, it's because it's easy, like, they're still being influenced, like a kid. They're starting to notice different things in life, right? So they're like, oh, like, what if I thought this way? And then that's why the people or the cops or whoever runs this thing are like, oh no. They're starting to think too broad. They're starting to think too broad. You know, that's how I see it.
So you're right on that. The baseline test is to make sure they haven't developed emotion.
Yeah. Like I truly understand that that's the reason. And then I told myself, like, watch the movie again and see the replicants as kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I see them as like just being easily influenced. And Kay, when we first see him with Joy, right? And he's like, "You want a drink?" I'll pull up the scene right now, but
I know the scene. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll pull it up for the people.
Oh.
But when he does that and like pours a glass for her, but also drinks both glasses, right?
You know how
he's playing teacups. He's playing teacups.
Yeah.
But
you know how I feel about the scene because we've talked about it at work.
Okay.
Can I get into that?
Yeah.
The way I see it is, it's so interesting because I can't say this without explaining the next part. So
bear
me out. I think Kay kind of has this desire, or like, you know, this subconscious wish that his life was real. Like he was a human. And it's interesting because, and I want to deep dive about Joy as a character later, so I won't talk too much about it now.
We'll probably get into her like soon because I got a lot of stuff to mention about her. Yeah.
I feel like she's the most telling character in the movie for this, but fuck, what was I saying? I forget.
The scene you're talking about.
Yeah. So fuck, I completely am drawing a blank now.
The scene that we talked about, you said we was talking about.
Yeah. So I feel like subconsciously he wishes he was a human, which is completely contrasting from his actual thoughts in the movie when he finds out that holy fuck, I actually might be the human. Because it might get him killed, right? And he knows that. But subconsciously, when he goes home and he's not responsible for being a replicant, he lives that human-like life with Joy. You know? And I think that's a reflection of the life he wants.
Yeah, for sure. You spoke about purpose, and I think what he thinks a normal guy that looks like him, that his purpose is to go home to his wife that cooks him a beautiful meal. That's why I think when we first see her, she's dressed in all like 1950s, right, clothing, you know, like very housewife looking stuff, right? And I think Kay is such a easy character to understand, right? Like he's easy to understand in my opinion, but it's Joy who's like really like underrated in my opinion.
Yeah, you never really know if Joy like means what she says or if she's programmed to say that.
As easy as it looks to understand too, right? Because we're like, oh, it's a product, right? Yeah. At first thought, you're like, it's a product, like, and it's a supporting character. Just move on with my day, right? But when you actually deep it and you see more, you know, and this leads to me asking, because I already know the answer to this, but your favorite scene.
Okay. So my favorite scene, it has to be the what I think is the turning point in the movie, is the "Are You Lonely" scene.
What a day. You look lonely. I can fix that. You look like a good Joe.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think that is the turning point. But
there's so much to talk about this movie, bro. But before, are we still going to talk about Joy? Because I don't want to skip over. Like, I think it's very important.
No, I really don't have anything to say about Kay because I think
Joy.
Yeah, no. But I think speaking about the secondary characters, you're low key also talking about Kay. You also come back to him. But
For
yeah,
sure.
But you're saying
so the "Are You Lonely" scene. It's so iconic. First of all, I think it's one of the best shots of all time. I really do.
Yeah.
You got him. He just finds out that he was not the special born child.
Yeah.
And they tell him, they say to him, what's the line? Dying for the right cause is the most human thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And he turns away from them.
Yeah.
He turns away from them.
And this is after they tell him, like, go kill Deckard, because whatever, if he gives up information, they're going to find us and we won't be able to rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he kind of turns away from them, and he's walking through the dark parts of the city, and suddenly his face is illuminated.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after Joy dies as well.
Yeah.
And
if you've seen the movie, like, honestly, watch the movie before you watch this podcast, because you'll
want
to
say that
say
halfway
something.
through.
No. I like, honestly, like, we're talking about this for like an hour. We're gonna talk about it for an hour.
So I was thinking about that scene on the way here because it stands out so much to me. I've seen it a million times. But he's walking through the dark parts of the city, which I think is, his current state of a representation of his current state of mind.
Okay.
And he's illuminated by the, I guess, hologram billboard of Joy, telling him
Joy the product.
Yeah,
Not,
Joy the product.
Yeah.
And Joy says to him, "Oh, you've had a day. You look like a good Joe," which is exactly the things that his Joy was telling him, which I believe that he had started to fall for. And then at that point he realized, holy fuck, like this is all a lie, and that I think cinematography. Yeah, the cinematography, the dark and light contrasts. I think is that point. Like it's shedding light on him, quite literally shedding light on him, versus what has been going on.
Yeah.
That he hasn't really clued into.
Yeah.
And then from that point there, he decides that, he's going to help the rebellion or.
Yeah.
So I that's why I think it's a turning point, because
he's not helping the rebellion though. To me, when you see the end, he just wants to reunite. Yeah. But the way I saw it though, that scene, like, I agree, it's a very powerful scene, right? I disagree, it's a turning point, and I'll get to that. But that scene was so important, because to me, I saw him, I was like, he's breaking out of the system that he's in. I think of, like, movies like video games, like the video game like Detroit Become Human. I don't know if you saw gameplay of that game.
No.
Right? But basically it's a world where androids exist, and they see one fucked up shit, and then you get that part in the game is like the élément déclencheur, like the start of the story. So you press a bunch of buttons and they're breaking out of their system. So you see them, like, breaking out, and then boom, now they're not an android anymore. They want to be free.
Let me ask you this: if that's the point where he breaks out of the system, why is it not the turning point for the movie?
Hear me out. I think that just sets up, like, the final fact, the final act. Not the final act, the final fight. Sorry. But to me, the turning point is when he finds out that the dream is real. To me, that's the turning point, because it goes from him. They say, I heard this when I was looking up, like, screenwriting tips. They say everything before the midpoint is reacting, and after the midpoint is acting. Right? So it's like reacting, something happens, acting, right? So when he finds out about that, his whole goal is to, like, now he starts to lie to the chief, right? He lies to the chief. He runs away, He goes to Deckard. He does all that. So now he's doing things that he's not allowed to do, Everything else before, legal, He's allowed to do that. And I think, to me, when he finds that out, it's a turning point, because to me, he realizes that, like, like, I know when with Joy, before Joy, he realizes, oh shit, like, I'm not the one, I'm not the one. That's just a defeat moment. That's a moment where there's no more hope. So before he sees Joy's, there's no more hope in the world, And then when he sees Joy, it just clarifies, like, holy fuck, this world, it's not that there's no more hope. It's that I've been blinding myself. And I'm going to ask you this just right after. But that's when he opens his eyes. And
I'd agree to say that there's 2 turning points.
Yeah.
I do think that is a turning point in the plot, though. Or I guess it's like...
What do you mean by turning point, though?
It's the final stage where he's like, he's been doing these things, and he turned to when he's like, whoa, I'm not the one. Okay, like maybe I'm not fit for this. Or,
I think that's just a little moment of defeat, though. Like there is no more hope. Like I keep saying that, but think of like a romantic movie. Think of a romantic movie, right? Or a rom-com, or like there's a moment before the end, right? Then they're not gonna be together. Oh, something happened. They're not gonna be together. Boo hoo, right? But then, boom. Now he runs back in the rain. He goes back to her. That's the fight scene in Blade Runner.
Maybe not the turning point, but for him, for Kay, it was the boiling point.
Yeah.
And after that, what happened?
But what do you mean?
He had his most human actions in the movie, right?
I guess. Yeah.
It was the boiling point. No, he turned away. He turned away after he found out.
Look. The movie, right? Any movie, in my opinion, right? You build up so they can fight that antagonist or fight those antagonistic forces, right? And to me, that point after Joy, sure, I agree. It's peak, right? It's like, oh shit, we're almost at the top of the roller coaster, in my opinion, right? That's how I saw it. So to me, he's learned everything, and then Joy sets him like, oh, now you know for a fact you're not human, right? Yeah. So what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah.
But I'm saying that in the middle, like when he finds out that like those dreams are real, right? And he thinks he's the guy. That sets a different. I forgot about that scene everything is a lie.
You asked me what my favorite scene is, though, bro. Mm-hmm. I actually forgot that scene.
Yeah.
The goddamn it scene. That is such a great scene.
I know it's real.
I think it's just a piece of acting. Yeah.
I think like that part and the Joy part are both major turning points in the plot.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll settle on that. We'll settle on. Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because
we'll settle on that.
I'm not saying yeah.
Because honestly, I'm like you would think I was gonna say like my favorite scene is that scene, right? When he does that, but before I mention my favorite scene in the movie, that scene in the where he screams, right? That scene where he screams, to me, that's like Detroit Become Human. For those who play the game, like when they break out of the system, it's a big like, boom. It's like fake glass, right? They break out, right? Get out, right? To me, that's his moment. He's like screaming because he's been calm the whole time.
Yeah,
he's been calm the whole time. Even when fighting, he doesn't like really like scream or anything, right?
He's just like straight eyes the whole time.
Like he takes a stab, like that, right? But that moment, he screams like,
which
that's human.
I think that's the most interesting part of the movie because I truly believe that he's like envious of humans in a way. And I think I'm sorry, I keep saying this. I really want to talk about Joy because that drives my point home, I think.
Yeah.
But he's envious of humans in a way that like he wishes he wasn't a replicant. But then when he finds out he might be born a human, it's like he got his wish, but it might be at the cost of his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a conflicting thought. His like surface level thoughts versus his subconscious thoughts. I think that's a major point of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think we had disagreed with that at work, but I finally figured out how to vocalize it.
Yeah.
We really I'm terrible at vocalizing things, but
that's same here. Yeah. I'm gonna say this after, but a quick fun fact about your favorite scene, man. The giant Joy, right?
Yeah.
It was like supposed to be like her default setting, right? And since like they wanted to keep the idea of like Kay customize her voice to like sound less sexualized, right? So to make that even land even more, right? They basically made the voice of the Giant Joy wasn't Ana de Armas.
No?
No. It was like the first assistant director, right? Or editor, sorry. So she recorded something, and then they decided to keep it in the final movie. So if you look at it back, try and like listen to her, and then skip back to that part and see if you notice it.
Interesting.
But yeah, when I saw that, I played it again, and I'm like, well, now you say it, I feel like I'm thinking
You're
that
gonna
way.
notice it now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, well, that's so smart. That is so smart too, you know? And speaking of that fun fact too, I think Kay really like blinded himself, you know? And I was going to say something about what you just said.
Subconscious.
Yeah. Going back to the point of being kids, being like kids, the replicants being kids, or comparing them to kids. That moment when he realizes he's the guy, right? He's like, it's like a kid hitting his brother, right? And being like, oh fuck, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, I actually heard. Yeah. There's a moment of like realization, and then it's like,
yeah, he's like, he wants to hit his brother, and then he hits his brother, and his brother turns back at him, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I see that.
And then there's like panic, and then there's like the parents, right?
Yeah.
So I saw it as like, oh, this is a kid who like realizes he did something wrong. So to him, he's the one at fault. Like he thinks he's at fault, right? So he tries to run away from it, right? It's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna die, right? Because that was also his job.
That's
such
an interesting, like, unorthodox way to look at it, but
yeah. But I'm trying to like land that childlike thing, you know, because to me, I see those replicants, and that goes back at least to my favorite scene, right? Which is, well, it's not specifically a scene, but it's everything involving love. Wallace's replicant, the chick.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was like, okay.
Or even like her first scene, right? To me, I'm like, when I saw it as like, oh, compared to like to kids, right? Replicants being kids, I was like, okay, how would she be, right? And she has an abusive parent.
Yeah.
She has an abusive parent. Kay has no parent. Like, the captain is sure like someone, right, a model, but she doesn't really want to associate with them because it's like, it's wrong. It's a replicant, you know. It's what they call them, skin job, right? Yeah. But Wallace is more so like an abusive parent, like the camera.
I'd say obsessive.
Yeah. So yeah, everything with her, man, because this is my probably like fifth time watching this movie, and I never really took in that character, you know. And then I decided to like, you know what? Every time she popped up, I'm like, bro, she has her own story too, man. She has her own story too.
I guess I can see more of the parenting, like obsessive, like, I don't know, maybe not necessarily parenting, but like, yeah, you know, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Say parenting.
Yeah.
I don't see the replicants necessarily as kids because someone might argue that
no, if you have like,
they're programmed with an older mind or whatever. But
sure, but their mannerism. Yeah. Okay, this is where I want to land, because I started talking about love, right?
Yeah.
I was watching the movie, and then I'm like, you know what? If Kay acts like grown-ups, right, with Joy, she like teacup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we're married, right? Honey, I'm home, right? All that shit. Love is more so of like acting like Wallace. If you look at the way Love kills Joshi,
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Same way as Wallace did before in that scene, right?
Yeah.
Between the stars. There's the seed that we must change forever.
And then when she stabs Kay at the end, right? And she
kisses him. Yeah,
kisses
wow.
him, right?
We could storm Eden and retake her.
It's the same. So
She's
singing those.
Every time I've seen that, I was like, "This is so fucking weird."
Well, I've seen the movie I've seen the movie a lot, but then this time I was like, let me focus on things I haven't seen because I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember when
that's a really good point.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I'm like, bro, she just wants to. She wants to do good for Wallace, and you know where it cemented to me that I'm like, I'm gonna start watching this way. This last point.
Okay.
The where it cemented to me was when before she killed Joshi or the captain, right? She goes like, I'm gonna tell Wallace you tried to shoot me before I, and that's why I killed you. You know.
Yeah.
So she says it like a kid. She talks like a kid. I'm gonna say.
Remind me about this after the podcast. Cause I'll tell you something.
Okay.
Please don't forget, because
no, I won't.
Okay, yeah. So let me ask you this then, just to bridge it.
Yeah.
Who do you think Kay was trying to please? Why do you think Kay was acting like that with Joy then? Why do you think he's playing teacups?
I think he's missing, like you said, he's missing something. Do you think
subconsciously he wishes he was human? Do you think that is his subconscious thought?
No, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But
because originally
at the same time, I forgot. In the original movie, the tech guy, right, that said was replaced by Neander Wallace.
Yeah.
I forgot his name completely, but he had his own thing. But with this one, right? In the original, it's as if imagine it's as if Kay falls in love with love, right? So that's how.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? So imagine that's what happened in the original, basically. Except that Kay wasn't like he thought he was human, you know. Anyways, what was I saying? I went off track for a second. Oh my god. Oh, subconscious. It was
subconscious.
Yeah. So I think to me, Kay is missing that father figure. If I'm gonna keep this child comparison going,
you don't have to.
Right?
Though.
No. I think it works. I think it works.
It does work, but there's some ways where I think it wouldn't work.
So, I was speaking about Wallace. Wallace talks as if he's God to these people, to these creations, right? Yeah. Right.
Love kind of does that too, so I see that.
Yeah. So, but Wallace calls him the greatest angel he's ever had, right? Every angel should come to the gates of heaven with a gift. That's what he says. He says that to Love, right? And he tells Love, because before that he talks about procreation for replicants, right? He wants that to happen. He wants replicants to have kids, right? And he knows now that there's a kid about, right? And he tells Love, the greatest angel of all, aren't you, Love? Right? So he wants Love to find that gift, right? So Love wasn't Love feels like she doesn't be here, right? Like she shouldn't be there, right? Anyways, all I'm trying to say is that Wallace gave these replicants free will, right? And didn't mention it to these people, right? And these people are scared of who they're seeing right now, right? Yeah. They're afraid because they're stronger and all that. But Wallace gave them free will. He definitely did, right? And we can say sure, he wants slaves for these off-world, right? And see more worlds, right? Yeah. But he gave them free will. He has a God complex going on, right? So the way I see it is all of these replicants have their own way of thinking, have their own, they all have an identity. They would see one replicant who didn't have an identity. No, they all did.
Yeah.
All the other weird replicants that we didn't really see much, they were rebels.
Yeah.
They were rebels.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So we didn't see a single one. Anyways, all I'm trying to say is that Kay definitely always thought right? Always had his own mindset, right? But didn't realize it yet. He didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't awaken. He didn't awaken, right?
So that's why his surface level thoughts are contrasting his subconscious thoughts.
Yeah, and he doesn't really know it.
He wanted to be a human or have emotion or whatever, but you see him show it throughout the movie, but he doesn't realize it until the end of the movie.
And do you think his version of joy was his subconscious?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. This is what I talked to you about this at work, man. And
I don't remember that.
This is why Joy is such an important character, I think. Throughout the entire movie, they plaster the idea that Joy is 100% customizable, and she'll tell you what you see and she'll tell you what you want to hear. Okay?
Yeah.
There's two ways you can see Joy. Okay. So the first one is that, and she's always like, telling him he's so special, and she gives him a name, and at one point he's like, "Whoa, don't do that." Or he's like, "Stop." And then she cuts it out right away. Okay. And I think that she's a reflection of, like, when you have an AI, this is just like a AI thing, you train it, when it does something wrong, it won't do that again.
Okay.
And so obviously he's had Joy for a while, and the whole time she's kind of feeding into what I think is a reflection of his subconscious desire. You know what I mean? She makes him dinner. She kisses him in the rain. She invites the shorty over, to have relations with him, real relations. And she says, I want to be a real girl for you. Okay? So you can look at it like that, or you can look at it like, which I find super interesting, is, Kay thinks that he's not real. He thinks that he's programmed to be a robot, but to Joy, he is. And there's the scene where they're looking at his binaries.
Isn't that funny though? How like
it's crazy,
ironic that is.
Yeah.
The one person who's like clearly not real. Is.
Yeah.
And so, I feel. Keep going.
So keep going. So like obviously she's like, and the way they say it is, he's like looking at his A, B's, and C's or whatever, his binaries. Yeah. And she goes, "Wow, I'm only zeros and ones." And he says, half the code but twice as elegant or something. Yeah. But to her, like, he's a real person, and he can, Yeah. So it's interesting. I think you can look at Joy two ways. I personally view Joy as, feeding into his subconscious. And telling him what he wants to hear, because they plaster that everywhere, and I don't think it's like not on purpose. Yeah,
And I know if people see this, and you're really paying attention. If the way we spoke about the big billboard of Joy, right? How he broke out of that system. The way I saw it, he was blinding himself, and then when he sees that, he's coming to a conclusion like, oh shit, I was, like, what the fuck? Yeah. So, that doesn't mean that the previous Joy wasn't good, he's the one who designed her. Yeah, he designed her. So it's all his doing, right? So it's things he thought about. Yeah. It's things he thought about. Like you said, of course, you train it. Exactly. You train it.
Yeah. So when he's finding out that when he finds out that when he hits the horse, and his surface level thoughts are like he is scared. Yeah. And you can see that he's like holding the horse and he's shaking or whatever, and you have Joy walking around him saying that I knew you were special this whole time, and like, you're so special, and you're the chosen one or whatever. So I think that scene is a direct reflection of him representing his, like, I keep saying surface level thoughts, but his thoughts versus his subconscious.
Yeah. No, for sure. And
that's why I think she's such an important character.
What did you think the first time when you realized, like, oh shit, maybe he's not the one?
It was like a slap in the face.
Was it? Yeah.
It was like, because I fully thought it was him.
Yeah.
And I fully thought, like, I was like, okay, now he's gonna have to go beef these people to stay alive. And then she's like,
you know what? I didn't really know what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was gonna happen.
I thought I was trying to predict the end of the movie, and
because I was like, no way he's gonna kill Decker. He's gonna kill Decker. But it
all builds up to that one scene. Yeah. And she's like, you thought it was you? and it was like,
yeah, we all did. We all did.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny? Because it's like a very noir movie, so they talk like this, right? They don't say a lot of like, it's not real conversations, right? What's funny was that when it's just like, you thought it was you, yeah. Oh, we all did, my child. You know, we all did, and it's so funny,
subtle.
But even Kay doesn't say like, no, like what the fuck? I had the memory, you know. And I don't know. The fact that he didn't mention it too, like there's a lot of moments like that in the movie that kind of pissed me off. That like, yeah, just say it, you know, say it. But because it's a noir,
the thing,
and they want to feed
but
the
also,
vibe,
like
right?
you can kind of guess, like, you know, I think at that point he's back into his original like trained to not have a reaction.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and he still kind of does have a reaction. He sits and he's like,
mm-hmm.
you know, he's like taken aback. But yeah, I feel like, oh my god, man, I feel like there was so much that we've had longer conversations about Kay's character and Joy's character, but now that I'm here and I'm tired, I feel like I have nothing to say, and I feel like Wednesday at work, and I'm like, I forgot to mention this.
No, bro, we're an hour and 10 minutes, and there's a couple more things I want to touch before we go though. Like
I have a fun fact for you.
Yeah.
So the actress for Rachel.
Yeah.
Do you have this one written down?
Well, I probably know what it is.
Okay.
Like that was all deep fake.
Yeah. And they deepfaked her.
No. She's alive.
Okay.
She's alive, but she doesn't.
She's murked now, no?
Well, no, I'm not gonna say that. She just looks older, you know.
Yeah.
But she looks exactly like in the original. It's so freaky, man.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I thought she died and they deepfaked her, and I was like, well, that's fucked up.
Yeah. I wonder if she was on set or something. Or do you think she got paid? You think she got paid because they used her face?
Probably like you know, like not royalties, but you know when people have for example, like an old TV shows that might air sometimes, and they just get those random checks in the mail.
Yeah,
she gets something like that.
Yeah. Just a random one.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently that's the case. Like whenever like you buy a movie or you rent something, or whenever a movie makes a certain like money, you get like
percentage.
Yeah, out of it, right? Yeah, that's funny though. That's funny.
We're an hour and 10 minutes in, bro. I feel like there's so much to talk about.
There is, and we're probably forgetting it, right?
What else do you have on your list?
Huh? I was gonna ask like, the eye scene at the beginning. You know,
the eye scene.
Remember, like it opens with an eye just opening, right? And I know it's probably something philosophical. You know, it probably means something, but to me, I just saw it. I'm like, oh, I don't get it. You know, because you know how the movie just opens on an eye.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna. I don't remember it at all.
Are you kidding me? You don't remember? Oh my god! I'll try to pull it up for you. And I'll probably play it here too. But
copyright.
This, like, you don't remember this? The movie.
I can't see, dog.
Wait. Oh, sorry. My phone.
You don't remember this? He's showing me File Explorer, man. That's crazy.
Like this.
Yeah.
Remember the movie opens on an eye? Like that's the first shot of the movie that you see.
I don't remember that at all, dude.
Oh my god! Seriously.
No, it doesn't. Maybe I just watched a different version, a different cut. But
no, it's
the black screen and it explains like what the replicants and shit are, and then it cuts to.
Oh my god! No! I'm gonna pull it up right now.
I completely overlooked.
You don't remember that?
No.
I was gonna, bro. I really wanted you to have an answer for this because, because I don't know what it means.
What do you think? What I think it means?
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. Well, I'm gonna waffle here.
Well, before you say it, right? Before you say it, we've been talking a lot. Well, I've at least talked about like, they're being awakened, and
surely that's what it represents.
And they're finally opening their eyes to what's real. And I also think, right? I was also thinking of like, how replicants die, like they pull out the eye and then check the ID, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it's also a question to us asking us, like, is this a replicant or is this a human? And I think it's one of those Kumbaya thing, like,
It's open
we're all
to
the same. We look the same, you know?
Well, I think it's open to interpretation.
It is, but I see it as that. I see it as that.
Probably what realistically what it is it's a mixture of both. Is like awakening, and also it's like surely the opening the eye thing, and rolling their eyes backwards. Surely it's a
reference to that. Yeah, man. I don't know. That's how I saw it.
But honestly, I completely overlooked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I was so confused. Why is this at the beginning? You know, I truly didn't understand what I was saying. I was also gonna ask. This is very philosophical too, but like, they talk about being born. Case says that he has to be born to have a soul, right? And but he's not born, but he does have a soul. You know. Well, so what does it mean to be born? At least in the
that's kind
Blade
of
Runner world.
That's kind of the theme of the whole movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a deep question.
It is
a deep question. Like, but so yeah, and
everybody has a different answer, in my opinion. You know, like to me, like I said, Wallace, God complex. He definitely gave these people free will, right? For a fact, he gave them free will, because they're buying products like everyone else. Isn't that enough?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because it's my belief that Kay is more human than Wallace. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah, a lot. No, yeah, for sure.
So I guess that kind of answers it because obviously it's not being born that makes you human. I think it's intention. You know, like for example, when Kay found out that that the girl was the girl, you know, he could have easily gone back to his detective job.
Yeah, like fuck this.
Yeah. And said, hey, this is the person. You know. Or there's so many times.
No. He had nowhere to go.
I'm sure they would have taken the tip, but
I think they would have. They would have.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Another example. Yeah. When he first meets what's his face there, at the casino. Deckard. When he first meets Deckard, he knows he's an old model. Why doesn't he kill him? You know, it just shows that he's not just programmed to be a detective. There's obviously more to it. You know, he has subconscious thoughts. He has he obviously has emotions.
No, the Deckard one is a bad example because to me Deckard is like he knows that he's the dad, right? So for a second he thinks, oh, I don't want to hurt you because you're my dad, right? Like he thinks that, right? But what is that? What you mean? I think what works with what you're saying right now is the beginning. With
well, it still works with it, bro. Wait. Let me finish. Yeah. Sure, it might be because he's the dad or whatever.
Yeah.
But what, like, if you're programmed to be a killer to replace old models, why do you have feelings thinking I shouldn't hurt him because he might be my dad?
I guess.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But what works better, I think, is the beginning when he kills Dave Bautista. You know, like that makes sense because he wants to just turn him in properly, you know?
Yeah.
He does it, you know?
I mean, he knows turning him in is... He wants to give him an honorable death, I guess, rather than... Because turning him in means you're getting...
Maybe, if you think it's an honorable death, then he kind of, like, respects these guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's instances throughout the whole movie of Kay having emotion. Anger.
Yeah.
Sadness, loneliness.
Yeah,
These are all human emotions.
Yeah.
You know? So... And they hide it really well throughout the movie through a blank stare. You know, you have to really deep it to see like what he's feeling because the whole movie he's like this. You know, so they hide his emotions really well, and that kind
and
of
his acting too is
yeah. But that kind of goes back to my main point of his subconscious thoughts, his subconscious emotions are hidden throughout that behind his blank staring face.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're still there. They're still emotions. They're still, and it's like, this might be waffling a bit.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's not his brain thinking. It's like his heart, his soul's thinking, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you could really, really deep it and make a half court shot and say that, his brain is wired a certain way, but he has the soul to have these emotions and these desires and you know.
Oh man, you gotta play Detroit Become Human, or at least watch like some YouTuber play, because you know what? It wasn't even in my notes, right? And then I started talking about like, oh, when he screams, oh, that kind of reminds me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it made me think, bro, that game is incredible.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna watch it and be like they probably took inspiration from Blade Runner. You know.
Yeah.
The way I see it too is like, nobody really goes kills their own people, right? And goes back home and does a fake relationship with Joy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like nobody is that person is not a robot, you know. That person has to have something.
So that goes
you know?
back to that kind of goes back exactly what you just said is what I read to you today, and you said no, that's stupid. K copes with his loneliness by living his life with Joy.
Well, that's not what you read me.
That's what I read to you.
No, you
that's
read me something about the baseline test.
No.
That's what you said.
No. It was the first part of that. I read that to you, and then I read the second part.
Maybe I
about the baseline test. And what?
Maybe I missed it.
Yeah, you did. Because before you even let me finish the rest of the paragraph, you said that's stupid.
No. I heard the rest. I heard the thing about they said something about the baseline test, and I was like, bro, that's just someone who wants to say something artsy, you know.
Yeah. But I think it's so like there's so much depth to the relationships because you don't like even at the end of the movie, right? You know what Kay's actions were.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing I want to say about that, but with Joy, you never really know if what she's saying is fugazi or not.
Yeah. Once you find out, it's always in your second viewing too. You know that you realize these things.
Yeah.
Or even after you watch the first one, you're like, wait, was
and you
Joy
kind of have
like,
to make some connections to like real world, like like okay, what is an AI trained to do? It's trained to, and I guess they do kind of tell you throughout the movie. You know, it's like on all the Joy billboards, it says. We'll tell you exactly what you want to hear or whatever. Yeah. And one other thing, I guess, going back to what I was talking about is to answer this question. They say it in the movie too, but they say, dying for the right cause is the most human thing you can do. And he dies at the end of the movie to reunite Deckard and his daughter.
You're going to notice that a lot in those, if you're going to keep watching Ryan Gosling movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's a spoiler, but after the third movie, you're going to be like, oh shit, like... this guy's just like his life is a tragedy, but a tragedy in a good way.
A lot of people say he plays the same character in every movie.
Yeah, no, he does.
Same thing with like Vin Diesel.
Yeah. Well, we're almost gonna wrap it up, right? But I wanted to let you know there's an anime series about Blade Runner.
What?
Well, not anime, but it's like
a cartoon.
No. It is. Well, what's anime? What do you consider anime? Like, what's the proper definition of anime?
It has to be from Japan.
Oh, okay.
Don't say it's from Japan. Don't say that.
It is. It's in Japanese, but they've also casted a whole American cast, right? With the black guy with the horse.
The black guy with the horse.
Yeah, the Somali guy.
Oh yeah.
He's in this one playing Dr. Badger in the English version.
Nani the Scott? What?
Yeah. So it looks like this. Like it's this type of animation.
Okay, bro. I will be watching that. That's it? We have nothing else to talk about?
Huh?
We have nothing else to talk about?
No. I feel like I'm intruding right now, and we're hitting almost 1:30. You know.
Yeah, 1:30.
Well, like 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Like, bro, I gotta work.
Bro, you know what? Like, the first episode was almost this long. You know, and that one I didn't think I was gonna be able to talk for that long.
Yeah.
But this one I knew for a fact I had shit to say.
It's crazy, bro, because I know for a fact I'm gonna go home tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go home tonight, and there's gonna be like 5 things that I wish I talked about.
For sure.
And even Wednesday. But I will say, before you wrap it up, I actually really enjoy talking about movies now.
Yeah.
I really, because it's so interesting to hear other people's interpretations, and compare them with your interpretations. So, or like, it's like, even on the cinematography side of things, you're like, oh, how did you like how this was shot? Or so I think I'm gonna watch more movies now.
It honestly, you're gonna realize it, and because you slowly are. It's like, the way you're talking about how you feel about movies now, lately, and talking about them, is the way I felt about that like a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I feel like the floodgates are about to open.
Well, let me tell you, only like recently was I like open to hearing people's out about their favorite movies, because for a long time I'm like, people who tell me a movie they enjoy, and I'm like, bro, you're big 25 and your favorite movie is like Cinderella, like, or Disney princess, like,
Yeah,
bro, grow up. But to me, I'm like, then I started listening to them, you know? You know how, like, I thought of this podcast? Remember, you know, there's a guy at work, but at Baker. He has two people, they have the same name. He has the same name as someone else. Jared.
Yeah.
But a shorter guy, right? I remember talking to him, and he said he liked Dune, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I thought he was going to either talk about the acting, talk about the story, or even talk about the way it looks, the cinematography, right? But then he goes like, oh, man, like, I think the sound. I love the movie. Yeah.
That's what stuck with it for me.
For Dune?
Listen, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest. And this doesn't even have to go on the podcast. I thought Dune was kind of boring.
Yo, but Zach was gonna be here. He would have definitely agreed with you.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of boring. I thought like nothing happened for 3 hours. But
I understand how you feel that way.
I know.
I understand.
I know that. But it looked okay.
Yeah,
it looked okay. But the sound is what really, like, I was like, wow, the sound was really, really well done.
Yeah. I mean, when he said that, I'm like, holy shit! Like I know the sound was good. Because I saw it in IMAX and all that, right? And then I really took it in, like, oh, maybe people love movies for a certain different reason, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and then that made me think of this, you know? But yeah, man, speaking of movies, and since you like to talk about them, what's another movie that you recommend apart from this one?
Can it be any movie?
Any movie. I know you're new into this, but you'd have to, if you would, to recommend something.
Holy fuck, man. I'm like cycling through the 3 movies I've seen.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I already talked about them.
You already mentioned them. Okay. Apart from Interstellar and Whiplash.
Fuck, I haven't seen any of their movies.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. Because it's been a while, man, where there's been a while since I've...
Hey, it doesn't have to be live action.
Yeah, okay.
Because... you're a big anime guy.
Yeah, I'm a big anime. There's one movie, I guess Sal's seen it. Your Name.
Your Name, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, honestly, it's a shout. It's a shout. Yeah. If you're gonna say that, you gotta say.
Yeah, Your Name. Your Name. Japanese director Makoto Shinkai. He kind of, it is an anime movie, and it's almost like a romance fantasy kind of thing.
It is, yeah. I love the way it looked.
No,
it was. I'm not a big anime guy, and I would say like that's a really good movie. You know.
And before you wrap it up, if you ever want to do reviewing movies with my friends, like, I'm down, because this is actually a good time. Yeah,
well, I'm thinking of other things to do because I have 2 mics. I'm not always gonna have the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I told I don't know if I said it in the last episode, but when The Boys comes out, I want to do like just talk about the last episode.
Yeah.
Right, or that week's episode
you did tell me
with like a different person, you know, because I think I know at least 8 people who watch the show, which is the amount of episodes that come out, right? Yeah. So,
I'm down. Yeah. It's kind of, now I'm inspired, bro. I want to make movie reviews.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to say like I'm doing reviews. I'm just trying to say like this is how I felt about this movie, you know, because I in this whole thing of watching a movie.
Your feelings.
Well, no. I'm saying, no.
You want to say shush?
I'm saying my feelings. No.
That's crazy.
No, but with like this watching a movie every day, it's like I'm not just talking about the movie, because you're gonna see a lot of mid movies. You're gonna see the same formula in a lot of these movies, right? Yeah. So I can't always say something new. I'm gonna say, how does this movie make me feel? You know, and if it's probably similar to other people. Yeah. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other things to do, like with the mics. You know.
No, this is actually a lot of fun. I really liked. It's fun to like, it's one thing to watch a movie and just go to bed. You know.
Yeah.
But like, when there's a really good movie, I think it's really like. It's weird to say important, but it makes the experience a lot better if you break it down and you like really try to understand what they were intending for you to feel.
Also, like what you feel from it, you know, which is the most important in my opinion. You know, and it's good because I know someone's gonna be passionate about what they're talking about, right? and if this is their favorite movie, they know it by heart, you know.
Yeah.
So I know already they're gonna be passionate about.
Yeah.
And if I enjoy the movie too as much as I did, like with this one, because nobody has given me a bad movie. Nobody has shown me a bad movie, in my opinion.
No. Let me.
far.
How are you gonna feel if someone comes in here and you're like, "Okay, come tell me about your favorite movie," and it's just a dead movie?
Bro, I would point it out.
We have to talk about it for an hour.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna talk about what I hated.
Okay.
I have to keep the same energy. One more thing before we go.
Yeah.
What shows are you watching right now? What show are you watching right now? One show.
One show I'm watching right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you know I was gonna say this. Breaking Bad.
Yeah. First time.
Yeah.
How far are you in again?
Almost season 4.
Ooh.
So I think it's really starting to build up now.
Yeah. Well, no spoilers for those.
It's
who
okay.
haven't
I've
seen
seen
it.
all those
Yeah.
spoilers. From me.
Yeah. No,
from
for
me.
the people. Yeah.
Breaking Bad and Your Name. My 2 recommendations.
You know, it's like Breaking Bad is like top TV shows of all time.
Yeah. I've heard.
And you're gonna see why. Like, bro, I feel like the end of that show was so good. You know, like if they didn't make the end of that show good enough, right? You weren't gonna. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you peaked good in the middle, like with all the story building and all that, right? You have to end it high too.
Yeah.
You have to, you know?
Yeah.
And I think they did that really well. Like, I'm done Breaking Bad, right? Like, I've only watched it once, and then I went straight into Better Call Saul. And to me, Breaking Bad was like, I was like, bro, this show ended so good.
Yeah.
It ended so good. I want to rewatch it again, and I know I'm going to enjoy it if I do. Yeah. But I want to see, like, The Sopranos. I want to see more HBO shows that, like, you know, I missed. But, yeah, man. Thanks for coming on, no?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good long talk, too, man.
It was a good talk, yeah.
An hour and 30 minutes, man.
Was it the best podcast yet?
No. Oh, I don't know. Every new episode is actually fun to me. So, like, last episode was a bit messy, but I'm super glad that we went through it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that we had a lot of problems, but we went through it. But, yeah, like, this is another movie I liked, you know?
Yeah.
I think, overall, like, I think the first one is always going to be my favorite. Because I expected that to be, like, 30 minutes long. And we went an hour over that.
Yeah.
Come on, like, but with this one, I had shit to talk about. And at least we didn't have, like, a Dune situation, right? Oh, and on God, there's no karma. Please, God. Right? And it's not like a Dune situation. But with Dune, I had just as much notes.
Yeah.
I had just as much notes, but the audio made me so distracted. And I'm glad the part 2 is coming, so I'm going to ask if we can do another one.
Yeah.
Right? So, part 2 is coming out, sorry. Yeah. And so I'm going to see with that. But yeah, man. Yeah. I think that was a good talk. And yeah, sure, we probably missed something, but if you've seen the movie, comment, man. Like, let's see what you heard. And
quit being lazy, bro. Turn this into 55 TikToks.
55. I still don't have TikTok.
Or
let's see how long
Reels,
I can go. Let's see how long I can
so
go without
free
it.
views.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. See you guys. Yeah.
Thanks.